as I've tried to turn my activism into a sustainable livelihood instead of selling my mind to a corporation forever. I've accidentally found myself among these people called libertarians. Because once you get out and try to do anything outside of public sector jobs or established corporations' offerings that you can find, if you want to start a business and you can't be hired by your, good old boys in neck or your dad, your mom, unless it's only you and it's done on a computer, you have to learn about laws and regulations.
I was saying, wouldn't it be simpler to work for central services?
Couldn't stand the pay.
Getting warm. You couldn't what? Couldn't stand the what?
Paperwork. Couldn't stand the paperwork.
Listen, this whole system of yours could be on fire, and I couldn't even turn on a kitchen tap without filling out a 27B/6. Bloody paperwork.
I suppose one has to expect a certain amount.
Why? I came into this game for the action, the excitement. Go anywhere, travel light, get in, get out, wherever there's trouble, a man alone.
We've been all trained to associate regulation with Democrats and reflexively defend regulations. The usual slander is against the EPA and Barack Obama, but locally, and libertarians and especially Republicans don't want to admit this because it would involve taking their own kind to a principled task, most regulations are anti-competitive ones. They are put in place by established corporations. They're a pygmy form of fascism, the state in cahoots with corporations at the national level, and they have national trade groups that lobby Congress. Generally, they're called the special interests, and they're on K Street in DC, they're in your local state House of Representatives, or sometimes in City Hall. And this goes down to like the NIMBYs and your homeowners association, and the pink shirts and the PTA.
I just wanted to sell my pomade, but that man cheated me.
You are vile. You are vile and debased. This is regulatory capture. And you are lobbying big business, AKA greed. Nothing but greed. And it reminds me of the jungle, where everything, everyone, all the lianas, all the plants are just jockeying, are just wildly out for the little bit of sunshine, and they all kill each other. And that's what you do to the American dream. Publicly, big business claims that they're for less regulations. But behind the back of all of you, they are just lobbying for more because they want to destroy small businesses that cannot afford the regulatory system. If Mr. Smith could go to Washington today, he would filibuster you back into your Big Bang wormhole you have slithered out of.
And you don't deserve that, A.
No, hey!
Yes, just take
You
it.
guys should come and work for me. I can give you minimum wage.
No.
That's good regulation.
Just let's think this through, okay? We haven't. Oh my God, guys!
Great.
Really?
You're doing great.
Really?
That's what should happen.
Yeah, remember, you're not that crazy about all these regulations and rules. What's Donald Trump's stance on these established companies that buy influence on the national scale, which is what the president would deal with because he's not running for governor of Oklahoma? He pandered so much in the primaries and was so vague on specifics that let's just look at what this guy said at the recent debates.
Despite the tax cut, the things that business and people like the most is the fact that I'm cutting regulation. You have regulations on top of regulations, and new companies cannot form, and old companies are going out of business, and you want to increase the regulations and make them even worse.
So what else, in his own words, has Donald Trump said he's for and against?
A storm is gathering over Iowa. Money storm. Out-of-state groups like GrowPac and Jobs for Iowa PAC are flooding the Iowa airwaves, telling you to vote Rick Perry at the Ames straw poll. They think they can buy your vote with their unlimited super PAC money. But Americans for a Better Tomorrow ask, what about our unlimited super PAC money? We want you to vote for Rick Perry too, but not their Rick Perry, our Rick Perry. On August 13th, write in Rick Perry. That's Perry with an A for America.
Super PACs are a disaster. They're a scam. They cause dishonesty. And you better get rid of them because they are causing a lot of bad decisions to be made by some very good people.
I said, what would Jeb do? So, and Hillary, and by the way, all the politicians, just to use one as an example, okay? But then what happens, he gets a call from one of his fundraisers, and they say, Jeb, you can't do that. You had Ford make contributions to you. You had other people make contributions to you, and they want it to happen. You have made special interests. You had special interests. You have, your biggest lobbyist represents Ford. He gave you $1 million. You can't possibly do that after he raised all that money for you.
George Bush made a mistake. We can make mistakes, but that one was a beauty. We should have never been in Iraq. We have destabilized the Middle East.
You still think he should be impeached?
I think it's my turn, isn't it?
You do whatever you want. You call it whatever you want. I want to tell you, they lied.
Okay.
They said there were weapons of mass destruction. There were none, and they knew there were none. There were no weapons of mass destruction.
All right. Governor,
give us your assessment. Is there a way out?
The war is a total disaster. It's a catastrophe, nothing less. It is such a shame that this took place. In fact, I gained a lot of respect for our current president's father by the fact that he had the sense not to go into Iraq.
All of us protesters said it was a war of blood for oil. But Donald Trump, whatever, reminds us that they didn't even get the oil. So what in the hell was the war even for? Is he part of the Bush legacy? Remember all the dumb things Bush kept saying, what an embarrassment he was, how foreigners started hating us, and the climate of fear and divisiveness he created, and his color-coded terror warnings, waterboarding, mass email deletions, and manned human detentions, illegal war profiteering, the TIPS program, all the stuff Edward Snowden fought. Remember hating all that madness?
But I am
sick and tired of him going after my family.
Hillary Clinton has suggested he's more of all that bad stuff in the Bush administration. He has talked about monitoring Muslims, and he is sowing divisiveness, and he talks about winning against ISIS. But he doesn't cite Dick Cheney or Bush or even Norman Schwarzkopf. Rather, he goes back to World War II under the greatest Democratic president, FDR, citing the generals Patton and MacArthur. He doesn't associate with neocons, the ones that got us into the Iraq War under false pretenses. There's no evidence that he can be accurately associated with that GOP legacy. He is a usurper of power, real and dramatic change upheaval.